Okay. Ooh, what a morning. Okay. While you are here, before we really get started, I'll give a few minutes. Can you just type in the chat box? Let me know if you can hear me properly, if you can see me. Let me check my volumes here. I've done live quite a few times on YouTube, and normally it's a very simple process, but this morning it was giving me some grief, so apologies if you weren't able to find me. Okay, great. All right, well, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining me live. This is so fun. Okay, all right, so I'll be monitoring the chat box a little bit, but there are some stuff that I just want to, get out there and start discussing with you guys. So sometimes the chat box goes really, really quickly. So if I miss your question, when I've gone through everything that I, want to talk about today, I'll stay on for a bit longer at the end so that I can answer any questions that you might have, and we can just kind of keep the discussion going. So thank you so much for joining me this morning. I'm just going to open my other window so I can see what I wanted to cover with you guys today. All right, it is July 14th, which is crazy because I still feel like I'm stuck in February or something. I wanted to just kind of touch base with you guys and, give you some updates about how I've been doing during COVID and checking in with you guys. So April, I had my 30-day morning yoga movement challenge, which was a huge amount of work and also an incredible success, and a really wonderful blessing. I mean, talk about timing. I started planning the morning yoga movement in November, and and even in January also, when we were really actively planning and shooting. And I was always going to do it in April, and then April, pretty much the whole world went into lockdown. So it was kind of good timing for me because it meant that there were a lot of people able to follow along with the challenge. So I welcomed a lot of new subscribers and viewers to the channel, a lot of people who had never even done yoga before. So normally on my channel, the people who practice yoga with me are people who weren't able to get to yoga class, so they're trying online for the first time. But now with the morning yoga movement, it was really exposing me to people who were just going through a really difficult time with COVID and quarantine. Don't know why my camera's out of focus. And this was their first experience in trying yoga, which was really exciting. So I would say for me, with COVID and quarantine and all of that, April and May felt like just normal busy months for me. I didn't really grasp the fact that there's a pandemic happening in the world because I was just busy. I was keeping up with the morning yoga movement. There was a lot of work that, trickled down even into May, because as I got new people joining on YouTube, it also meant that more people were purchasing my mobile app, which is the biggest blessing. And, people always ask, how can I support you? How can I support your work? Truly, getting my mobile app is the #1 way to do that, or it's one of the best ways that you can do it, along with just watching my videos and subscribing. But because I had this new flood of traffic, there were more people getting the app, taking my yin yoga teacher training, going through my Art of Allowing programs, which are all amazing things, but that means more time for me that I need to be on the computer, more emails to respond to, more customer service all around, more Instagram messages. I was really flooded with Instagram messages. So April and May, I just kind of pushed, worked really, really hard, longer days. And, my friends and family were going through a hard time because for them, they were having the experience of not being able to go to work anymore. They were home all day. They were bored. And so I would get all these messages from people being like, I'm bored. I'm sick of quarantine. And I was like, I'm not at all having this experience. I already work from home. And if anything, now I'm busier than ever. And then June hits. And I don't know really why, but it feels like June, things slowed down a little bit, which was nice. But at the same time, it meant that I don't know, it was like the first time my body really got to feel what's happening in the world. And it's like I got to just be on autopilot for 2 months, not really processing the fact that we are going through a really big thing. Like, this is a global pandemic. And it's like I knew it was happening, obviously, but I was keeping myself so busy. I never really got to process it, to check in and see like how I feel about it. And of course, with everything shut down, I hadn't been able to keep up with a lot of my self-care practices. So I have a video here on YouTube for those of you who are interested, and it's like my top 10 self-care practices. And a lot of those tips require physical contact with other people, like therapy, massages, things like that, like yoga classes. Now in June is like when it finally hit me that, oh my gosh, I don't have those things accessible to me now. And I had been neglecting. I didn't do any therapy April and May and into June, like I wasn't doing these things that normally keep me feeling really grounded and good and stable. So to be very, very honest, June was a really hard month for me. It was I was depressed. Like I just felt very burnt out. It still is hard for me to like access creativity and inspiration. I just felt like I wanted to sleep all day. Like it was not a good space to be in. And I realized that the reason why I'm feeling so bad is, of course, there's this pandemic. It's affecting all of our lives. I haven't really been processing it or acknowledging it. I've just been like, in denial, like living my life as if everything is normal. And that will only like take you so far. And I really realized like, wow, I've super neglected my self-care practices. Instead, I've fallen into my default workaholic mode, which I'm super prone to do, especially when I'm in periods of anxiety and depression. I just kind of like suppress it and get to work and live in denial. And I wasn't doing, therapy and a bunch of the other things that I know are good for me. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do, virtual therapy. Let's give that a try because, a lot of therapists are operating that way, just doing like Zoom meetings and Skype calls, FaceTime, things like that. And I tried it. I did 2 sessions and truthfully, it's just not for me. Like the first session I did was just like on my laptop like this. So we had, with my therapist that I've been seeing for a long time, the entire time we were in the therapy session, I kept thinking it was like a business meeting. Like I was clicking and opening other browsers. Like there was just too much distraction. Like I have some undiagnosed ADHD. So the idea that I'd be able to like have therapy over Zoom, it just was not realistic at all. I kept forgetting like this is a therapy session. It's not a business meeting. Like I kept rushing for it to be over. It was really hard to like actually go deep. So I was like, okay, this isn't working for me. But then I wanted to give it a try again. So I tried a second session. And this time I did it on my phone in my bedroom so that I wouldn't have any other distractions. And that was much, much, much better. So for those of you who are watching this, who are like me, who are missing therapy in like an actual physical setting of just sitting down with no distractions, if you do find yourself being really distracted in Zoom meetings and calls like that, I highly recommend doing those on your phone and in your bedroom just because there are less distractions and it's easier to get focused. But at the end of the day, it was still really hard. Like it's still not my favorite format. But my therapist is a wonderful lady and she was like, you know what you should do? I think you need breath work. So part of what this, video is supposed to be about, this coffee chat, was for me to tell you what has been working for me in terms of self-care in this new world. So I'm in Ottawa, Canada. Things are finally starting to open up again. And as of Friday, most things will be open again, which is really lovely. But I know it's not like that for a lot of places in the world. So I just want to share with you, what I did. So if Zoom therapy is not your thing, what I've been doing almost every day now is breath work from David Elliott. So my therapist is trained by David Elliott. You can look him up online while you're, listening to this. And he has a very specific technique very specific pranayama technique, which is it's an active breathing meditation. It's in 3 parts where it's all in and out through the mouth. And you take an inhale through your belly, inhale through your chest, exhale. So like that, basically for 20 to 25 minutes. And it is intense. I mean, I've really, really deeply connected to it. It has helped me a lot to get some energy moving, as opposed to talk therapy, which was just not working for me in the COVID world. So my therapist recommended that we do a breathwork session just so she could really guide me and show me how it's done. So we did that together. And now I just do it on my own. And I've been doing it almost every single day. So a lot of people will do it in the morning because it's very energizing, but I personally really like to do it when I'm in bed at night. I do find that it helps me get to sleep. So that's one tip I would recommend if you're interested in trying it out for yourself. Just look up his website. It's davidelliott.com, I think. Let me check. I'm going to check it right now. It's David is D-A-V-I-D, and Elliott is 2 L's, 2 T's. And he has audio meditations, so guided breathwork meditations that you can download, which is what I've been doing at home. And there are also some free ones on YouTube. If you look like David Elliott, pranayama or breathwork, you'll see a bunch that are for free on YouTube if you wanted to try it. So I'm a huge, huge fan of that. I'm really so thankful that I found it, because now we're in July and I'm feeling myself I'm feeling normal again, I'm feeling more grounded, more connected. And then the other thing that I started to do, this, you might laugh at me, it's probably so silly, but I am obsessed with this thing I bought on Amazon, and it's called the Swing Master or the Chi Machine. And I have it right here, and I'm going to show it to you guys, but I'll explain what it is first. I was browsing on TikTok one day and I saw this it was this 80-year-old Chinese lady, and she was giving her secrets to the fountain of youth. And it was all quite bizarre suggestions that she was giving. And then one thing that she said as the secret to youth was to use the Chi machine. And it reminded me a lot of craniosacral therapy. So basically you put your ankles up on this machine as you're lying down, and it rocks your ankles back and forth. It is so soothing. Here, I'll pick up my webcam so you can see it. It's this thing right here. So you just put your ankles in it. You guys are going to judge me. It's probably so silly, but honestly, I love it. It's the most soothing thing ever. And then you just have a little dial and you can control the speed. And it kind of just rocks your whole body, and it has an automatic timer, so it stops itself after 15 minutes. And the effect that you have afterwards is one of the most calming, soothing effects I've ever felt. It's really good for lymphatic drainage as well. So to get lymphatic fluid moving in the body, also really good to promote circulation. If you have a lot of inflammation in your ankles, in your calves, this is really wonderful and gentle. So if you're interested, just type Chi Machine or Swing Master in Amazon and you'll see it. So that's something I've been doing every day. I freaking love it. It is amazing. Now I have been able to keep doing some things for self-care. I'm still able to walk twice a day, but now the big thing that I wanted to discuss with you guys here is that I'm going to take a month off. So June really showed me that sorry, are you going to look at our messages? Yes, there's 100 messages going through. So if you have questions and stuff like that, let's wait till the end, and then I'll stay for an additional 30 minutes and answer everything. But otherwise it's too hard. If I'm looking back and forth, I lose my train of thought. So I've decided to take the month of August off of YouTube specifically. June made me realize that I've really been going so hard this year because I had this goal of reaching 1 million subscribers this year, and I'm really close to it now, which is so exciting. But in order for me to reach that goal, I decided to go from 1 video a week to 3 videos a week, which is already, a really intense, big jump. And then I also decided to do a 30-day yoga challenge, which was an insane amount of work. So with all of that combined, and especially because of quarantine, I had to cancel all like trips, vacations, like the breaks. Normally that's how I recuperate and allow myself to take a break, is I physically need to remove myself. So I will physically like book a cottage or go on vacation, whatever it may be, because then if I'm in a different location, I find it easier to disconnect. Whereas now we're all just stuck in our homes. And for me, home equals work. So I've just been like going like crazy, trying to reach this goal, and also like trying to serve people. Like, this is what happened to me, is the morning yoga movement brought in so much, like so many new people to my challenge. And every day I've been overwhelmed by these beautiful messages that I've been getting from people who are, saying, you're saving me in quarantine and I'm so thankful and you're the only thing keeping me sane. And all this is such beautiful feedback, but it was making me feel like I have to deliver more and I have to keep going, because I didn't want to let anyone down. Like, I wanted to keep just serving and like doing more. And, if I feel like my videos are even helping just a little bit in this crazy, stressful situation that we're all going through, then I wanted to do that. But now I've realized that I've hit a wall and it's time for me to step back just a little bit. So not stepping back fully, there are still some things that I'll be doing. Like, I'm running the Art of Allowing one last time. So that's going to start next Monday. If you're curious, I already posted the link in the description of this video if you want to learn more, but we're going to begin on the new moon and it ends August 19th, I believe. But I'm not going to be posting any new videos. So no filming for me. I've realized that because I've been like producing so much on YouTube, my inspiration and creativity is kind of waning. Like, I think this is what a burnout feels like, like June, I was feeling so low. So I don't want to be that, like I want to really truly be of service, and I want to feel inspired by the work that I do. And normally I do feel inspired. So I'm going to take all those hours in the week that I normally dedicate to filming content, editing content, posting and promoting it on YouTube and social media and email marketing and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to take that time to just rest and to see what kind of inspiration comes up, because there's this little voice in my head also that has ideas for other things that I want to produce, other projects that want to come forth. Like, I just mentioned the Art of Allowing, but the Art of Allowing is truly the program I am probably the most connected to at this time and the most proud of. It's this 31-day abundance challenge. It's all about shadow work. So it's not really like just yoga in terms of like poses. It's really like a personal growth and transformation program. And I'm so proud of it. And we have over like 600 people now who've taken it, and the testimonials are just so humbling and so wonderful. And there's this little part of me that's saying, there's a level 2 Art of Allowing, like there's more I can do with this. So I'm having all these ideas of like, I wish I could expand on the Art of Allowing, maybe create a level 2. And at the same time that quarantine's been happening, of course, we've also seen like the rise of and like the resurgence of the Black Lives Matter movement, and also cultural appropriation in the world of yoga. So I've really like thrown myself into education. I'm taking a bunch of courses. I have a bunch of like one-on-one meetings. I've hired a bunch of people for my mobile app to bring people on, just to like, I'm really just trying to do the work, right? And that needs time and effort. And if I'm putting all of my time and effort on YouTube, I'm unable to really dive deep into those things. So I'm currently taking a yoga philosophy online course by this wonderful teacher. She's an Indian yoga teacher now based in Bhagwat. I've shared her stuff on Instagram. So I'm taking her yoga and philosophy course, and now we're working on creating our own program together. So working more in collaboration, which I'm really excited about, but like, I don't have time to do all these cool initiatives. I don't have time to learn. I don't have time to study. I don't have time to like fill myself up if I'm constantly focusing on producing for YouTube. So August, I'm going to be stepping away. Don't worry, it's not forever. I'll be back in September with new amazing strategies and programs and offerings and classes. But for now, I need a little bit of a break. For a while, I thought maybe I should wait until I reach 1 million subscribers, and then I'll really feel comfortable taking a month off. And I think this is truly just a negative mindset that I have, which is that rest is earned or rest is something you have to deserve, but that's crazy. And, that's a really negative way of seeing that. So I'm like, no, I don't care what the numbers are. I'm going to take a break right now because right now is when I need it. And I've also gotten a lot of feedback for you guys that 3 videos a week is a lot. So you have a lot that you can, go through and stick with. But I'll be honest, I'm really afraid. Like when I decided that I would take August off from YouTube, I was like, what if everyone unsubscribes? What if no one follows me when I'm back in September? What if everyone moves on and forgets about me? What if I get a bunch of hate mail because of it? Like, what if people judge my decision? Like, I was really, really scared that all this hard work I've been doing will have been for nothing, because now I'll take some time off and everyone will leave. But I'm trying not to focus on that and, trying not to let fear control me, I guess. Hopefully you guys will still be there, and hopefully you'll still be doing the videos that I have on YouTube. And in the mobile app, so I do have the Yoga with Kassandra mobile app. You can find it in the Play Store and on my website and all that kind of stuff. But I do have some like exclusive content already lined up for that. And we do still have monthly challenges. So that's coming up in August. So there are still ways to like stay involved and keep practicing with me, whether that's on YouTube or in the Art of Allowing. So me being able to like step away from YouTube for a little bit is a good way for me to concentrate on Art of Allowing, because this is something that I participate with you guys. Like, there are some things that I'm trying to call into my life. There are some beliefs that I'm trying to shift and reset. So whenever we do Art of Allowing, like, I'm doing it too. I'm doing those practices. I'm going live in the Facebook group. I'm very active answering those messages. It's just something I feel very connected to right now. But yeah, that's basically where I'm at right now. I was thinking, because the 30-day challenge was so successful, I was getting dozens of requests to do another one every single day. And I mean, almost hundreds of requests every day. And I felt a lot of pressure to do that. So I was like, okay, I'll make another one in August or in September. Like, I'm working on it. And I started planning it and I had things booked. And every time I would look at my to-do list and I would look at my calendar, I would just want to crawl into bed and not wake up, because it was overwhelming. Like, the idea of doing another 30-day challenge, doing 2 in a year is too much. Maybe other people can cope with that, but it's too much for me. So there won't be another 30-day challenge this year, but I will continue to do them. Like, I really love April. April from now on can be a 30-day challenge month. So 2021, like, just be on the lookout. I'll have another 30-day challenge, because they are wonderful and they're really fun, but it's not fun if I'm doing it while sacrificing my own like physical, emotional, and mental health. So please don't leave me, even though I'm leaving in the month of August. I will be back. I'm going to have a lot of, hopefully that break will allow me to feel inspired again. I'll be back with new, fresh content. And between now and then, I do have some classes coming to you guys. I'm going to have another minimal cues class. I filmed that last week. I know you guys love that one. And I'm going to have another yin yoga and affirmations practice, and like 2 other 10-minute morning yoga classes. I think that's what I have queued up between now and the end of the month. So, okay, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say. So I talked about the art of allowing. Definitely check that out. The link is in the description box here. You can just go to yogawithkassandra.com. Registration is open until the 21st. So this is like, you can't just sign up at any time with this one. We do it in a closed group. We really need to like create the container. So we start on the new moon and we go for 4 weeks. So the new moon is coming up next week on the 20th. So if you'd like to join us, setting intentions and really diving deep into spiritual practices, some of them from the yogic tradition, but others just from different psychology backgrounds. So that's a wonderful one. And then otherwise, just hopefully, you know, keep doing my YouTube yoga videos, maybe get my app if you're interested. There's a free 7-day trial for that one. And now I think that's everything I wanted to cover. So let me take a sip of coffee and I'm going to go through the messages a little bit and see if there are any questions or anything that I'd like to address. So feel free to comment in there. Okay, so a lot of reassurance that you guys won't leave. That's great. These are so nice. Okay, wonderful. How much is the yin yoga program? So if you mean my 30-hour yin yoga teacher training certification, it's $519 US, and we also have 3-month payment plans and 6-month payment plans. Is there still going to be a monthly calendar on your app for August? Yes, absolutely. So rest assured, you'll still have a full August challenge in the mobile app itself, definitely. How can we join the challenge next week? So if you want to join the Art of Allowing challenge, you can just go to yogawithkassandra.com. And if you go under like programs, you'll see Art of Allowing. But I also posted the direct link to sign up right in the description of this live video as well. And even on Instagram, like if you click the first link in my bio, you'll see Art of Allowing. So nice. Are you doing a reality show? No. No, I don't know where that idea comes from, but I don't have a reality show. What are your cats' names? Cleo and Kit Kat. So Cleo is the calico one, the 3-color, like orange, white, and brown. And then Kit Kat is the gray and black one. Will you do a live chat update after your time off? Would be nice to hear how it helped you. That's a great idea. Absolutely, I can do that. Absolutely. I never know if people care or enjoy these live coffee chats. So that's why I only do a few of them. But hey, if you like them, I'm happy to do them. Would you ever consider live streaming your yoga sessions? Oh, that is such a great question. I totally forgot to talk about that. So this is something that I'm working on within the mobile app itself. We are trying to add a live streaming feature for app members so that myself and other guest instructors can do live yoga classes for the paying members. The thing, like the issue that we're running with is it costs something like $150 for 30 minutes of streaming. Like there's a high cost to it on my end. So we need to find a way to make it worthwhile and to make it work. So we're still investigating it, still looking into it, but I really hope that within the next month or so, we'll be able to have live streamed classes. You know, when quarantine happened, you guys probably noticed like everyone was doing free live streaming classes on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Zoom. And I was like, overwhelmed by that. I did not want to contribute to that because it's like you would just open Instagram and you'd be bombarded with live videos and live streaming. And it wasn't my thing. Like, I just didn't want to get involved, especially because I'm already doing 3 yoga classes a week on YouTube. I was like, trying to add another live streaming session is going to be way too much for me. But if there's a way for me to add live streaming as part of the mobile app, then that's more worth it, again, because there's a high cost to doing live streaming classes within the app anyway. And at least that one is paid, like people pay to be a part of the mobile app. So I'd be able to also use part of that money to pay the guest teachers that I bring on, and to just, make it worthwhile. So we are working on it. It is something that I want to do in the future, but it wasn't realistic for me to do it right now on YouTube just because I'm already doing 3 videos a week. So it was just too overwhelming for me to try to do it this way. But I do want to do it. Like, there's so many wonderful yoga teachers. And when the whole Black Lives Matter protest came out, I really made a lot of commitments, and I'm following through on all of those commitments. I wanted to be very transparent with you guys about what I was doing and what the future of Yoga with Kassandra would look like. So I have hired quite a few wonderful teachers of color who are going to be coming on YouTube as well as on my app. But COVID is making this really hard because we can't really film, right? We've had a lot of restrictions about production. Because normally when I have, those of you who have my mobile app, you'll know that we have some guest instructors in there already. And most of the time it's me doing the production. So either they're already in Ottawa and I'm able to just film a series with them, or sometimes I'll travel and I'll film and do the editing and stuff. But again, it's just been really hard with COVID to do that. So the guest instructors might not show up, even though I've hired them and we already have our series lined up and they're already ready to go. It might not happen. You might not see those classes until October or November. So that's unfortunate, but these things take time, and I'm hopeful that you guys understand that, and that, just because I have an idea and I make a commitment to something doesn't mean it's going to show up the next day. There's just a process to these things. Okay, let me just see what else I have missed. Which is your mobile app? If you just go to the App Store on your phone, just type Yoga with Kassandra and you'll see it, or you can just go yogawithkassandra.com and you'll see mobile app from there. There's a free 7-day trial. So basically the mobile app is just everything that's on YouTube is on the app, but you have the ability to watch it without ads. You can also download it. And then we have this really cool scheduling calendar. So you can schedule classes that you want to do in a calendar, and it'll send a notification to your phone when it's time to practice. And you'll get really cool little check marks. It's just really nice. And there's a journal. And we also have exclusive things that are not on YouTube. So exclusive classes and programs that you can't find anywhere else. And every month inside the app, we create a new custom themed 30-day or 31-day challenge. So if you like having a program to follow along with instead of guessing every day, okay, what class am I going to do? That could be a really good option for you. Does your yin yoga class count towards the 30-hour non-contact hours through Yoga Alliance? Yes, absolutely. So it's a professional certification training program. Pre-COVID, so before COVID hit, my training counted as non-contact continuing education hours, but now Yoga Alliance has changed their criteria, and now if you do online training during COVID, you can actually count it as contact hours. So an interesting option for those of you who want to get certified in yin yoga and can't take anything in person. And also, honestly, I'm so proud of my training. It's really good. And we have there's hundreds and hundreds of testimonials from other instructors if you're on the fence and want to see, if it's worth it. But you get a copy of my book mailed to you. There's an amazing 100-page teacher training manual, and then a huge curriculum of video lessons and practices. And every year around the month of November, I add a few new bonus lessons in there, new modules, and you get automatic access to that. Are there any other YouTube yoga teachers you recommend? Yeah, absolutely. Lots. There are probably teachers that you already follow anyway. Obviously, Yoga with Adrienne, Totally recommend her for beginners, absolutely. For prenatal and postnatal, I definitely recommend Sarah Beth Yoga as well as Brett Larkin Yoga. They're amazing. For Ashtanga, I recommend Leslie Fightmaster. She's wonderful. Who else am I forgetting? Five Parks Yoga, excellent, excellent yoga teacher. For Yin Yoga, it's a very, very small channel, but she's wonderful. It's, I'm just trying to remember if it's Yoga by Shanika or Yoga with Shanika. Let me find it. Or maybe it's Shanika Yoga. Let me find it. I'm searching on YouTube right now. But I've done her Yin Yoga classes, and they're like 10 out of 10. Really, really wonderful. Okay, so it's Yoga with Shanika. So if you like Yin, definitely try that out. She doesn't only do Yin, but I'm a big fan. And like you guys know, I'm picky when it comes to Yin. You know, I like Yin the way I do it and the way some other teachers do it too, but I'm picky sometimes. But I love her classes. They're very good. Will you do another video tutorial for a specific pose? Absolutely. So I have one, I have a chair pose tutorial coming up next week on Tuesday, I believe. But yeah. Let's see. When and why did you like to start the 30 days of yoga challenge? I got the idea from it a long time ago, and I wanted to do it for a few reasons. Like, one is that I really do believe that doing just a little bit of yoga every single day can change your life, and it takes a while for habits to form. Like, you need to be doing something at least for a few weeks for it to really like sink into your lifestyle and for you to add this to your routine, which is why, you know, it's wonderful that every week now I do like a 10-minute morning yoga stretch. But I wanted to create a program that people could actually follow through from day 1 all the way to day 30 so that they could see, is this something I want to keep doing? You know, do I like this? What will I like to change? So there was like a big act of like service and wanting to kind of convince people that you don't need to practice every day for 90 minutes in order to have a consistent yoga practice. Like 10 minutes can be enough to really have a big effect on your life. And I also had this goal of reaching 1 million subscribers this year. And I was like, probably putting out 30 videos in a month is a good way to get there. So it had like double win. Yeah, and I'll do that every single year. Oh, just signed up for the Art of Allowing. Amazing. Oh, Shanika. So you guys are asking how to write that. I'll write it in the comments right now. Yoga with Shanika. And I discovered her because she's actually part of the Yoga with Kassandra Facebook group, the student community. Yeah, she's lovely. What recommendation do you have for getting into a yoga routine at home? I'm struggling with work. So, you know, it's interesting, right? Everyone went in lockdown, and I saw my friends and family go through the same struggles that I went through when I quit my government job and just did yoga with Kassandra full time. So I've been working from home for about 3 years, and the first 6 months were really hard because my schedule was all out of whack. I was waking up at weird times. I was going to bed at weird times. I was working all day, all night, then sometimes not working at all. It was really tricky, and it bled into my yoga practice. Sometimes I was practicing, sometimes I wasn't. It was really challenging. So for me, honestly, it's just about finding a routine and sticking to it as if you were still going to work every single day, as if you still had that job. Of course, you have more flexibility to change the hours around, you know, if you'd like, but having a routine and plugging your yoga practice, like actually scheduling it in a specific point in your day can really help. And when it comes to morning yoga, like I prefer to do yoga closer to noon or the afternoon. In the morning, there's just like other things that I prefer to be doing. But for people who like to do it like first thing in the morning, it's about like before you even have a thought, you just go and step on your mat. And even if you just get into child's pose, usually after taking some breaths, you'll want to add on some movement. But also just following a challenge is a good way to set a routine and stick with it. So try the 30-day morning yoga movement, see how it feels. Okay, I'll do 10 more minutes. Is there any particular yoga pose that you really connect with? Yes. So low lunge on Anjaneyasana is super important for me. It has healed my low back in a lot of ways and really helped to correct my posture. Banana pose, Bananasana, is my favorite yin yoga pose. That one feels really, really wonderful. And right now, I'm really working on opening up my hips. I have a lot of flexibility in some ways in my hips, but I'm working on frog pose a lot. And that's a hard one for me and a lot comes up, but it's a good one for me to work on. Let me see, I'm just scrolling here. It can be tough to kind of read. Do you know the miracle morning practice? Have you already tried it and what do you think about it? No, I'm not actually familiar with that, but I will make a note to look it up. Which poses do you recommend for lower back pain? If you go on YouTube and you type yoga with Kassandra low back, you'll see I have quite a few classes and videos on that. Low lunge, spinal twist, strengthening your core will all really help with low back pain. Which yoga poses should be avoided for someone with knee issues? That varies a lot from person to person. Again, if you go on YouTube and you type yoga with Kassandra knees, I have 2 very specific yoga classes to help strengthen knees and also to stretch if there's a mobility issue. But often it's just flexion of the knee that's hard, right? So like this is my extension and then this is my flexion. So if you have knee pain, sometimes this is what hurts a lot. So putting something in between, like a folded blanket or a pillow, can help make poses like child's pose a lot more comfortable. I am just about to go watch a morning yoga video. Amazing. Oh my goodness, and you donated. Thank you so much. I keep forgetting that people can do that with live streams. That's so nice. In August, will you be off all social media as well as YouTube? Not fully. So I will be much less present on Instagram. Instagram for me in the month of June, I was like, this is what is contributing to my depression. Like this feels horrible. I hated being on Instagram. I just absolutely hated it. So I'm probably not going to be very active and present on Instagram. I'm trying not to put like too many rules on myself because I never know how it's going to be. But I am going to be present in my Facebook groups. So the Yoga with Kassandra student community, it's just a really fun group to be a part of. I always feel good when I go and read the comments there. So I'll probably be there. And for sure, very, very active in the Art of Allowing Facebook group. Again, because like those of you who are in that program already, you know, like I'm very open and vulnerable and honest. And it's very much like a direct, it's just easier to like have a direct relationship with you guys because I have my own personal challenges and my own goals and things that I'm working on. So I like to, I usually go live in that Facebook group once or twice a week. And I share a lot of what I'm personally going through. So if you like these kinds of live videos, I do those a lot in Art of Allowing. But that's probably it. So not on YouTube, probably not on Instagram very much because I'm kind of over it. But yes to Facebook. What pose would you do if you were mega stressed? Child's pose. Which of your videos would you recommend for menstrual cramps? If you type in, again, I keep making you type stuff, but I have videos on that. Yoga with Kassandra PMS or Yoga with Kassandra period. You'll find I have a few classes specifically for that. You do retreats. I mean, normally I do retreats, but obviously not this year with what's happening. And truthfully, like I've done 4 yoga retreats. I did Iceland, I did 2 in Costa Rica, and I did south of France, and they were wonderful. But they're a lot of work, so I was already feeling a need to have a break from them, and then quarantine hit. So, you know, traveling internationally is out of the question for me for a while. Is the Facebook page open to all? The Yoga with Kassandra students Facebook page is open to everyone. I'm pretty sure the link is in the description of this video. It's just a student community, so absolutely open to everyone. The Art of Allowing Facebook group is only open to the people who are signed up to that program. This is a paid program. You pay one time and you can redo the program as much as you want. Okay, just a few more. Do you have any plans on doing more Yin to Yin practices? Yes, I love those classes. Like for me personally, that's my favorite style. That's my favorite way to practice at home even. So I'm a huge fan of it. They're not always that popular on YouTube. You know, it's kind of the same thing with minimal cues. I get so many requests for Yin to Yin and so many requests for minimal cues, but then when I put them on YouTube, they don't necessarily do as well as some of my other videos. So that's kind of challenging, but I will be doing more because I love them. And if you have my mobile app, I do have a full Yin to Yin chakra series, which is not available on YouTube. How do I build up strength to do crow pose? I have a crow pose tutorial right here on YouTube. Just type Yoga with Kassandra crow pose. Will you make more evening classes? Absolutely. Are you able to set up your April 30 days video to just replay in August? No, but you can just go and redo them. A lot of people are redoing that challenge multiple times, which is really cool. Are you still going ahead with the yoga teacher training that you have coming up? I'm not sure what you're referring to. My only training that I have is the online Yin Yoga teacher training, and that is always available. But I don't have any in-person trainings. I haven't had any of that planned for a while. So not sure if maybe you're referring to something else. Let me know. Can I use the app from my laptop? Yes, you can. It doesn't have as many features. It's really meant to be mobile, like so Android, iOS, you know, any tablets that you might have, Roku and Apple TV. And a lot of people also use like Chromecast, like to cast to their TVs. So there is a browser version, but it's not as robust, I would say, as the mobile one. Okay, I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. This has been a pretty long live coffee chat, but thank you so much to everyone for tuning in. This was really fun for me, and thank you for being so supportive of me taking a break. Oh, okay, here's my one big ask of you, if I could ask anything at all. Please make sure that you are already subscribed so that you actually like click that subscribe button. And it would be even better for me if you could click on the bell icon next to the subscribe button and select all, especially because, so what I'm really afraid of when it comes to taking a break from YouTube is that YouTube might not tell you when I'm back in September. So when there's inactivity on a channel, YouTube tends to recommend that channel less and to give it less attention. Like momentum is really important when it comes to growing a channel on YouTube, which is why I was really afraid to take a month off, because I know it's going to hurt me in some way. but we can minimize this by making sure that you are subscribed and that you do turn on the bell notification, because then it will alert you the next time I have a video, which is probably going to be like September 1st or something like that. So that would be super helpful. And just, keep watching my videos even when I'm away in August. I know it's all going to be fine and, nothing to stress about, but that would be very helpful. And I mean, I'm so excited. How many subscribers am I at now? I'm close to 950,000. Yeah, 943,000 subscribers. It's crazy, 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 crazy. But I'm really excited, really grateful, and can't wait to reach 1 million, hopefully by the end of the year. It should be in a couple months, I think. Yeah. All right. So, will commenting on your old videos help? Absolutely. Any way that you interact with my videos helps. So whether that's sharing videos on social media, that helps a ton. Whether that's leaving a comment or just subscribing, it all really truly helps. And of course, in terms of financial support, getting the mobile app is the easiest way to do that. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in, for being a part of this lovely community. I hope to see some of you in the Art of Allowing. We'll begin that next week. And those of you who just want to connect with me via YouTube, I will be seeing you in September. Now, it's only July 14th, so I already have classes filmed and queued up for the rest of the month. So my break is kind of starting early because I've already done the work for the rest of July. So I get to chill a little bit and take it a little bit easier. So don't worry, there are still classes coming over the next 2 weeks, and then the break will begin. All right, thank you so very much, everyone. Have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you very soon.